Hello students, so far that I had already discussed about the chapter, the fight, that was the part 1. So in the part 1, that the last that we had discussed about Ranji, who boasted himself as he was a fighter. The another strange fellow, that he also boasted himself that he was a warrior. They actually wanted to dominate to each other. They wanted to defeat to each other by telling that the swimming pool was theirs. And for that reason that they started fighting. Of course that the stranger, that was a warrior, was stronger than Ranji the fighter. But however, that Ranji the fighter was not less than him. So he also, that with a great strength, that he also fought against him. And finally, that it continued for 5 minutes. So no one could defeat to each other. The match was drawn. The fight was drawn. And thereafter they did not have much strength to fight again. So the stranger, that was the warrior, that he said that come tomorrow again that I will fight. And don't forget to come tomorrow. I will not show you any mercy. And definitely that I will defeat. And the fighter, Ranji, he also accepted the challenge, and they both that went to their home by the different routes. This much that we had explained about the part 1 of the chapter, the fight. Now the second part that we are going to explain to you. When Ranji got home, he found it difficult to explain the cuts and the bruises that showed on his face, legs and arms. It was difficult to conceal the fact that he had been in an unusually violent fight, and his mother insisted on his staying at home for the rest of the day. That evening, though he slipped out of the house and went to the bazaar, when he found comfort and solace in a bottle of the vividly colored that lemonade and a banana leaf, the full of hot, sweet jalebis. He had just finished the lemonade when he saw his adversary that coming down the road. His first impulse was to turn away and look everywhere else. His second, to throw the lemonade bottle at his enemy. But he did neither of these things. Instead, he stood his ground and scowled at the passing adversary. And the warrior said nothing either, but scowled back with the equal ferocity. The next day was as hot as the previous one. Ranji felt weak and lazy, that not at all eager for a fight. His body was stiff and sore after the previous day's encounter. But he could not refuse a challenge. Not to turn up at the pool would be an acknowledgement of defeat. From the way he felt, just as he knew he would be beaten in another fight. But he could not acquiesce in his own defeat. He must defy his enemy to the last or outwit him, for only then could he gain his respect. If he surrendered now, he would be beaten for all time. But to fight and be beaten today, let him free to fight and be beaten again. As long as he fought, he had a right to the pool or to the forest. So far that after fighting, that Ranji had fist marks, or that he had got the several hurts also on his body, that cut mark or the wounded, it was also clearly very much visible. So when he went home, that his mother also scolded him a lot. He could not hide. The word here, conceal. C-O-N-C-E-E-L, conceal. Conceal means hide. So he could not hide himself, because that it was clearly visible on his face, the cut marks, the red cut marks. And his mother insisted him. The word insisted means to give pressure, that not to go out of the home. However, that he went home, just hiding. He went to the bazaar, and there that he bought the hot jalebis also on the banana leaf and one lemonade bottle. That was the soda water. And he was drinking and that he was eating. So on the bazaar that he saw that the same fellow, the warrior, was coming from the opposite direction. So he wanted to not to show him his face. But however that he looked at him, the warrior also looked at him. None of them said anything to each other. But the warrior was also looking very angry towards the Ranji, towards the fighter. And of course, that the next day again that the fight was to occur. And during this time, that Ranji actually that felt very weak and lazy also. And he was no more interested to fight. Even that his body was very much tired. And he had the several sword marks, the cut marks, which were also very much paining to him. But he wanted to encounter, he wanted to face the warrior. That the warrior must not think that Ranji was actually terrible, the Ranji was actually timid or coward. He wanted to fight till the last. He did not want to go away without showing his face, because he well knew that till that he will fight with the warrior, the swimming pool will be his. He did not want to be a loser. So, at last, that they all actually that were ready to fight, and Ranji actually that could not lose his respect. And he thought that if he surrendered, if he got defeat, then definitely that he will be called as a coward by everyone. That he could not bear it. And he wanted to fight till the last. And as I said, that he wanted to fight because that the fight will actually determine him that the swimming pool was his. So that none of them actually that want to lose the fight. Now next paragraph. He was half hoping that warrior would have forgotten the challenge, but these hopes were dashed when he saw his opponent that sitting astride to the waist on a rock on the other side of the pool. The warrior was rubbing oil on his body. He saw Ranji beneath the sand trees and called a challenge across the waters of the pool. "Come over on this side and fight," he shouted. But Ranji was not going to submit to any conditions laid down by his the opponent. Come this side and fight, he shouted back with equal vigor. Swim across and fight me here, called the others. Or perhaps that he cannot swim the length of this pool. But Ranji would have swum the length of the pool a dozen times without tiring, and here he would show the warrior his superiority. So, slipping out of his vest, he dived straight into the water, cutting through it like a knife, and surfaced with hardly a splash. The warrior's mouth hung open in amazement. "You can dive," he exclaimed. "It is easy," said Ranji. "Treading water, waiting for a further challenge. Can't you dive?" "No," said the other. "I jumped straight in. But if you tell me how, I will make a dive." "It is easy," said Ranji. "Stand on the rock, stretch your arms out, and allow your head to displace your feet." The warrior stood up, stiff and straight, stretched out his arms, and threw himself into water. He landed flat on his belly with a crash that sent the birds screaming out of the trees. The Ranji resolved into laughter. "Are you trying to empty the pool?" he asked as the warrior came to the surface, spouting water like a small whale. "Wasn't it good?" asked the boy, evidently proud of his feat. "Not very good," said Ranji. "You should have more practice. See, I will do it again." And pulling himself on a rock, he executed another perfect dive. The other boy waited for him to come up, but swimming underwater, Ranji circled him and came upon him from behind. "How did you do that?" asked the astonished youth. "Can't you swim underwater?" asked Ranji. "No, but I will try." So then after that, what happened? That they all that get together near to the pool, he saw that his opponent, it means that his enemy, his competitor was coming from the opposite direction, and they also in fact that wanted to fight, but this time Ranji did not want to fight. He was very much tired. But however that he appeared himself as a great fighter. And then after that, the other fellow, that was the wild warrior, he was oiling on his body. And he was staying the another bank of the swimming pool. And from there only that he called him, that "Come here and fight with me." But Ranji said, "No, that you come over here. And then after that you fight with me." Like this actually, that they cling to each other. And they were looking very furious to each other. And during that time, that they were hoping that again the fight actually that will occur over there. So this did not happen, and then after that the warrior said to Ranji that "Come and you swim, and by swimming that you come here and fight me. Otherwise that perhaps that he was suspected, he was having the doubt that perhaps Ranji may not be knowing that how to swim into this swimming pool. But in fact, the Ranji knew very well that how to swim. So he stretched his arm upside as you are looking into the picture, and then after that he kept his feet very straight and he jumped into the water. He went inside the water as like a knife, and he swam across it, and then after that he appeared without any splashing. the word splash. Splash means that आपकी वो छपाक छपाक की आवाज होती है पानी में, that making sound into the water, that is called a splash. So without making any sound of the splash, Ranji appeared into the swimming pool. So this made the warrior very astonished, very amazed. The word astonish or amazement, it means surprise. So that warrior was very much surprised to see that, and he had to understand that really Ranji knew that how to swim. But the warrior that he did not know how to swim. And Ranji taught him that stretch your arm up and make a dive into the water. The warrior also did the same. But there was a great sound of splashing. And by saying this, the birds sitting on the tree became very much frightened and they started flying away from there. And afterwards, that when the great warrior that appeared into the water, that again the sound of the splashing that it came out. So it means that warrior did not know that how to swim into the pool. Then Ranji said, it is very easy to swim in the pool. So just like that, he told me that I will make a dive. If you tell me that how, I will make a dive. Then Ranji said that yes, it is very easy. So stand on the rock, stretch your arm just like that, and allow your head to displace up. He did the same, but he could not succeed. And then after that, Ranji also jokingly that he said that are you trying to empty the pool? Yes, after splashing water, that the water also scattered everywhere. So naturally that he jumped in such a way and he swam in such a way that the water also came out of the pond, of the pool. And the word spouting, S-P-O-U-T-I-N-G, spouting. Spouting means pouring, P-O-U-R-I-N-G. The word pouring. So that here, that Ranji will say that of course I will teach you that how to swim. Even though the warrior made a tremendous effort to plunge into the bottom of the pool, and indeed he thought he had gone right down, though the bottom like a duck's remained above surface. Ranji, however, did not discourage him. It was not bad, he said, but you need a lot of practice. Will you teach me? Asked his enemy. If you like, I will teach you. You must teach me. If you do not teach me, I will beat you. Will you come here every day and teach me? If you like, said Ranji. They had pulled themselves out of the water and were sitting side by side on a smooth grey rock. My name is Suraj, said the warrior. What is yours? It is Ranji. I am strong, am I not? Asked Suraj, bending his arm so that a ball of muscle that stood up, stretching the white his flesh. You are strong, said Ranji. You are real Pahalwan. One day I will be the world's champion wrestler, said Suraj, slapping his thighs with choke with the impact of his hand. He looked critically at the Ranji's hard, the thin body. You are quite strong yourself, he conceded, but you are too bony. I know you people do not eat much. You eat enough. You must come and have your food with me. I will drink one seer of milk. Here the word S-E-E-R, seer. So in old fashion, it was the way that the unit was seer. Seer, pow, likewise. 1 pow, 2 pow, 1 pow equal to 250 grams. 1 seer equal to 1 kilogram. So in olden days, that seer or the pow was used. But now in the modern era, that it is as a unit of the weight is used as like grams, kilograms, likewise. So he boasted himself that he was, who was boasting himself? It was very. He said that daily that he drinks that 1 liter, the 1 seer of milk, we have got our own cow. By my friend, be my friend, I will make you a pahalwan like me. I know if you teach me to dive and swim underwater, I will make you a pahalwan. That is fair, isn't it? That is fair, said Ranji. Though he doubted if he was getting the better of the exchange, Suraj put his arm around the younger boy and said, "We are friends now." Yes? They looked at each other with honest, unflinching eyes, and in that moment, love and understanding were born. "We are friends," said Ranji. The birds had settled again in their branches, and the pool was quiet and limpid in the shade of the shal trees. "It is our pool," said Suraj. "Nobody else can come here without our permission." "Who would dare? Who would dare?" said Ranji, smiling with the knowledge that he had won the day. So then after that, Vajra asked him to teach swimming. And really, Ranji, the fighter, was expert in swimming. And then after that, they boasted to himself, like that the great warrior said by showing the muscle that he was stronger than Ranji. But simultaneously, he also told Ranji that of course that you are